we just keep seeing good games on Ohana, and I mean, it's really funny too because a lot of people online are like, "Oh, Ohana's a terrible map. It's really imbalanced." I don't get that feeling. Even they say it's really, really imbalanced in TVZ, but even the TVZs I've seen have all been very action-packed and fun, and it might be tilted one way or another.
And I really don't think this is a map that's been
Played
to
enough.
use Andre's expression a lot, like truly explored. Like we haven't seen everything of Ohana. We haven't seen every possible playstyle.
I like that.
No, but it's true, right? I mean, how long has this map been around at the competitive level? Like barely a month or so, and now we already came to the conclusion that it's imbalanced. Nah, give it another month.
Hey, can you do a Frodan impression?
No, I really can't. You know, because Frodan has such a neutral accent that I can't really do it. Like,
what would Frodan sound like?
All right, guys, it's Liquid Jinro. No, I can't do it, man.
It's more like Liquid Jinro down here in the top left and over on the others. No, not really good.
No,
either.
we can't do it.
I'm missing it. It's hard to impersonate Frodan
because he's so neutral. He really is, man. Like, if you imagine a human being speaking, it's Frodan.
If you just like imagine. You ever see that thing?
Frodan blends in, man.
There was this thing on National Geographic. They took the average face from every place on the planet, and they put them all together to see what the average person would look like. And it was like a Chinese guy. It was Frodan.
Wow, you did not just do that. By the way, did you see this, man? Really interesting. I didn't mention it yet, guys. But WhiteRa sent a super early scout out. I think it was even, I think it was a 9 scout, maybe even a little bit before that. But I think it was 9 after we dropped the pylon, just to make sure that the probe would enter the main base, because he really wanted to see if Jinro would open with a gas or not. And now some people out there might wonder, like, it's been so long that I didn't play, that I played against Terrans who did not go no gas fast expand. If they play one base, what is the best scenario for Protoss? In my opinion, and in the past people said I was silly, and then later on quite a few good players agreed with me as well, is that the best thing you could ever do against a one base Terran, if you're like absolute sure that he doesn't have a command center in his main base, is Phoenix. Phoenix with a robotics facility, because Phoenix gives you absolute map control, completely nullifies Banshee, medevacs, you don't have to worry about it, and they're also really good at picking off SCVs, and you get that great scout off.
I think WhiteRa might be dead.
Yeah. But the big problem is, yeah, I know why, Ben. But one sec, let me finish. The big problem is, if you really go Phoenix, if he goes this opening and you can't enter the base anymore, and he just goes a Reaper expand, or he goes 1 Marine, 2 Marauder expand, if you open Phoenix, you're quite far behind. You're gonna need a small miracle, because the first stim push, you're just not gonna have anything to really deal with it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Phoenixes were at one point very common in PvT as an opener, but then Terrans learned that there's once you realize that your opponent's going Phoenix, you can hit these stim pushes, and there's just no way to defend them. No,
but this is the exact scenario, Ben. Jinro is actually going for Reaper expand, and if WhiteRa would have tried to pull off something like Phoenix, and he is on double gas, by the way, so this is already nice for Jinro, because that Nexus is going to be later. If WhiteRa would go for Phoenix right now, I wouldn't say that he lost the game. It's not a build or the loss, but he's gonna have to be so careful. Maybe even pull off something like a hidden Nexus somewhere, because if you just expand your natural, there comes this one moment where a Stim Dwyer army will walk up this ramp, and you can't have a decent amount of force fields. Really beautiful Stalker positioning, by the way, by WhiteRa. Won't pick up the Reaper. I do think WhiteRa is gonna expand straight away. After he spotted that Reaper, he knows like it would be very unlikely that wow, look at Jinro, man. Jinro getting all the good scouts off. And he will get the confirmation that Nexus is up. But yeah, what I want to say, if you go Phoenix, it's just very, very gas intensive, and you can't actually deal with the first real bio army.
Where's that second Stalker? It's out of position. Hello, Reaper, and this is why Reaper openings are the best in the game. That bonus damage. Reaper makes his way up into the main base after getting the huge scout. No, don't get your Reaper surrounded, Jinro. Oh.
That's beautiful, though. That was a nice surround, man. I'm sure WhiteRa played some Warcraft 3.
Man, he's so sad.
Doesn't make me sad at all. I love watching surrounds, man. It's one of the things I miss most with Warcraft 3. You know, nowadays everybody is so good at making videos, and if you would ask the Twitter universe, like, hey guys, can you make this or this video for me, they will do it. But I always had these dreams as a Warcraft 3 player that one day someone would make like a highlight video of me.
I see what you're doing right now.
What? What am I doing? No, tell me. What am I doing?
No, finish your story.
Yeah, so I actually made this folder on my desktop, and every time I played a ladder game where I did something awesome, like a speed scrolls around, or just like a hex around, or a last moment hero kill where I did something cool, I saved the replay, and I had like these 15-20 awesome replays. I was like, man, if someone ever makes a highlight video of this, I'll look like the best Warcraft 3 player of all time.
If someone ever downloads my replay pack at rotterdam.com/Warcraft 3 replay.
I lost them, man. I lost them. They are far gone. But back then it was just, it was a privilege that only the absolute best players in the world had, and unfortunately, I was pretty good at one point, Ben, but not that good. I wasn't important enough for a highlight video. It's pretty sad.
It is pretty sad.
Story of my life, man.
Why didn't you just make your own highlight video?
I couldn't, man. I'm not good with videos or Photoshop or anything. I can't make anything, man.
That stuff is pretty hard.
I barely know how to use Paint. It's true.
You were lying to me.
Mate, I want to make a meme last week and I had to have it. And I couldn't do it. I asked the Twitter universe and someone made an awesome meme for me.
Oh, Rotti. What are we gonna do with you? Jinro sitting on a small supply block here at 46 supply as he gets up a factory and builds some bunkers at his front because for whatever reason he's afraid of some aggression out of WhiteRa.
Yeah, maybe WhiteRa would have gone for a 5-gate push and then you have to be ready. But he doesn't have to worry about that. I'm not sure if he's going to spot his observer or not, but if he does, I wouldn't be surprised to see him scanning once more and trying to take it out.
And he is really nervous loading up into those bunkers. And to be fair, he doesn't really see anything. WhiteRa's got total map control. Yeah. And so Jinro's basically in the dark.
Jinro's going very marine heavy here. Factories on the way, starboard as well, so he might actually try to do something with his first 2 medevacs, which will be full of marines. And if he can get them in a good position, he will be able to do something with it. But knowing WhiteRa has a pretty good idea what's going on right now, so he's gonna know that he have to position his Stalker smart. Look, Jinro wants an observer! Don't scan. No, that's so risky. Yeah, I said it. Didn't I say it, Ben? I said don't scan.
You said it.
I said it.
You said it.
Don't make me say it.
But you said it. Yeah. And Jinro did not listen. He did not have the stream open.
Good guy, Jinro. Well, in general, I think it's very good that Jinro doesn't listen to me since he's a lot better. But on this moment, man, I could have seen. That's one of the things, man. You see it coming. Like, no, I know you want it, but greed is not always good. Jinro is supply block, but his depots are on the way. And, like, he has quite a buy-up force out now already. And imagine if WhiteRa would have played Phoenix, there's just no way that he could have ever dealt with his army.
Yeah. I mean, that scan's kind of like.
Well, WhiteRa is going really quick. High Templars, by the way.
Yeah, Charge is also just finished for him. Does he have upgrade? He doesn't have forges.
He has a forge.
Oh, he does. See a forge. And he's getting
+1 before +1 armor. That surprised me a little bit because Charge walls will deal the damage anyway. You don't really need to for them to have +1. Ooh, might ends up losing. Oh, so smart by Jinro. Did you see that, man?
Stims one Marauder,
only
runs
one
it forward
Marauder.
to tag that Stalker. Very, very cute play.
I love it. I love it so much.
Little things that make big differences.
Army supply is 44 against 44 right now. Jinro throws in a scan, but he should realize that this is something he can't deal with. Also, he doesn't know about Storm, but feedback would just be scary enough. So
yeah.
Jinro is smart and just retreats.
Yes, indeed. WhiteRa was kind of dancing around with those High Templar, maybe even make it look like he wanted to Storm, but that Storm research hasn't even begun yet. WhiteRa still warping in Zealots, adding extra gateways. Hasn't taken a third yet.
Oh, sorry. By the way, guys, WhiteRa already had 01 armor. I did not see that. I'm very, very sorry. So he didn't start +1 attack before +1 armor. He already has the +1 armor. I have to correct myself there, Ben.
It's all good. I thought that you had already seen that because it's all good.
You forgive me?
I would never hold it against you, bro. Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, and tomorrow you bring it up. You remember that
God,
one
you're
time?
such a noob. You said he wasn't getting +1 armor when he already had it. God. This guy that I have to cast with.
Tomorrow, Ben will call a meeting, guys. This is insane.
Can somebody get me a competent co-host?
No more observing for Rotti. I'll control the mouse from now on.
Oh God, nobody wants that.
WhiteRa is really interested in these 2 medevacs, but they're actually completely even. Meanwhile, Jinro took out the pylon over here on the right top side of the map. Supply blocking WhiteRa just a little bit.
Really liking all the action happening just around the map. Armies moving on both sides.
Yeah, very tactical.
Yeah. Both guys just sort of vying for map control. Jinro's going to lose Billy the Marine. Oh, run, Billy! Run!
Guys are coming!
They just took the Zelnaga Tower!
And now he's getting taken care of. He's like, oh yes, how I missed you.
Billy has never gotten home safely. This is the first time.
WhiteRa has stopped producing pros for a little while, despite going up to 3 bases. As we can see over here, this Nexus is about to Finish up. Don't attack WhiteRa. This is something you really do not want to attack into. And I don't think he really... Ooh, he loses his observer because he flew in range of the missile turret detection.
Little guy in the turret doing his job. Double duty.
Yeah, man. Not only has to worry about air, he also sees the invisible.
Storm's done now, by the way. So these High Templar are going to flirt with... What? Are you just going to just check the ramp with this High Templar? What if there are units standing up there? Good Storms doing a lot of damage to those Marines and Marauders. Medevac should be able to hear that. WhiteRa really wants to pick a fight.
I don't think this is really something... I mean, Storm is really scary, but this is just bad for Zealots. And these Storms, Ben, they might seem pretty good, but this is really not a good way to spend your energy.
Yeah, if Storm
as long as you don't kill... He doesn't even kill them. Like, he does damage, but there are plenty of Medevacs. So in a moment like this, you much even rather feedback, so you at least do damage to a mechanical unit, which costs money.
But what WhiteRa is doing is keeping Jinro in his base.
Exactly.
And while that's happening, he's taking a third base. He's getting his economy going there, saturating that base. He's also tech switching into Colossus, which I love. I love it.
Yep.
When a Protoss player goes High Templar first, and then adds that Colossus later. Some people say that it's just really impossible against good Korean Terrans to do that without having Colossus out. But when you can get away with it, this is the nastiest tech switch in the game.
Definitely something that Mana used to do for a while, but then, as you pointed out, Ben, several Terrans found really good timings against that, and they kind of stopped doing it. I ask a lot of Terrans about it as well. Like, I often talk with the Muslim about strategy, and I played some games against him as well on the North American ladder, and I tried to pull it off through, and then he said, like, if I were you, I would just try to get one Colossus out. Even if you don't get Thermal Lens straight away, he's like, you'd just be a lot safer against the first push. And I was like, yeah, good point, Ben, good point.
This time, WhiteRa has managed it, though, and as we can see, Jinro's building Ghosts. He's not got any Viking production to speak of at all. And WhiteRa's army is just getting bigger and scarier.
Oh, the armies might collide. Jinro is actually a little bit split up, man. Look at all these Marines, they're so exposed.
Almost a sacrifice, but they will be able to stem and run away.
And on the same moment, Ben, over here in the left bottom side of them, a pretty big hit squad over here by Jinro, and WhiteRa's completely out of position. He's going to wipe in a couple of Zealots, but that won't be enough. Jinro should be able to take out this Nexus.
Yeah, I think he probably will. WhiteRa turns around with his entire army. Oh no, he's going to lose.
He's going for probes.
Oh, probes, okay.
I would have loved to see him going for that Nexus. How quick would that gone with all those Marauders?
Oh, actually, he doesn't really kill much of anything. Colossus!
Wow.
No, Colossus doesn't fall either, and so Jinro...
Nice save by WhiteRa.
Couldn't make up his mind. A little bit of indecision. Kills a handful of probes, but the Nexus lives, the Colossus lives, and the economy of WhiteRa continues.
Oh. Wow, nice feedback and nice storms as well. Did a little bit of damage.
What were those guys doing out there? Hanging out on the tower?
Got them, man.
Chilling with the Zealot?
64 SCVs for Jinro. Jinro has been mining off 2 bases for a really long time with an insane amount of SCVs. So he's on 3 bases right now, but he's going to mine out his original 2 bases pretty soon. He's doing really good on the upgrades though. He's getting 2-3 before 3-2, which surprised me a little bit as Terran. Oh. Because the main DPS of WhiteRa will still come from Storm, and Armor doesn't really help against Storm.
You're exactly right. That spell damage just ignores all of that stuff as WhiteRa does continue to push forward. Now, one nice thing about that little poke by Jinro is he saw the Colossus switch, so he will have some Vikings
but
out.
Still,
but
there are there are 3 Colossus, and there are only going to be 4 Vikings. Jinro does have a little bit of supply left, but he's low on gas, and WhiteRa's just going for it. And there are so many Zealots, man.
Here we go, Zealots swarming in. They look almost like Zerglings as they just surround and just obliterate everything. High Templar making their way forward. These Colossi are completely uncovered.
Oh, that's a weird Storm. Storm's his own Zealot, but look at all those Marines.
So clumped up in the back. Hasn't nailed that There's a nice storm on a lot of those, and a money storm there at the end. And Jinro's army will melt away. GG out of Jinro to tie up the series.
Man, that
1-1.
On this map, on Ohana, this third base is so open, so it's so nice for Zealots to just swarm in, basically as Zerglings, as you said. That's why I really think it's essential that as Terran you get either a few bunkers there, or maybe even just like put 2 racks, like create a little bit of a wall.
Such a good point. 2 bunkers with some depots in front. We've seen a lot of good Terrans do that in the past, or you could take a page out of Marine King's book and just factory.
Directory, just build 3 more, even if you don't want to use them.
Yeah, but I mean, it basically functions as a choke in a way, and it takes a long time to kill something like that.
And that's really what you need, because that turret is really wide open, and you saw how Zealot heavy WhiteRa went, and that first storm wasn't even that good, but what it did do is it forced Jinro all the way to the back, and then all the bio was just so clumped up, and he didn't really have the amount of Vikings out to deal with to deal with those high temperatures either. We're going to look at that one more time, man, and look at how many zealots WhiteRa had.
Yeah, they just swarm everything.
Those EMPs were kind of random too.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
A couple of the first storms were very random. He tries to land that good one first. He storms on this small little group, mostly getting his own zealots. He's going to whiff a couple more storms, but once Jinro has his back against the wall, there's just no retreat, and the bam, perfect storm lands right there.
The perfect storm. Have you seen that movie?
Man, that movie was scary.
You thought so?
Yeah.
I thought it wasn't very good. At least in my mind, it was not very good.
Man, what would you do if a storm like that hit California?
Man.
We've already had a couple earthquakes and crocodile attacks.
Seriously, man. Like my life in Cali, like
it's full of danger.
I live every day like it's my last because I wake up to earthquakes. I see crocodiles in front of restaurants. It's scary living out here, man.
What's gonna happen like the first time you see a big snake?
Please don't ask. You know, like. I actually don't know. Like, I'm really afraid of bees. Like,
we can tell.
Bees really freak me out.
We can tell stories about that when we get back, guys. That last game brought to you by iBuyPower PCs, the PCs that power the North American Star League. Check them out at iBuyPower.com. Short commercial, and then the final game of WhiteRa versus Jinro.